who are you? If you are here, we are hoping that you are the either revenue or security point person in a company that's about 10 people or larger. Below that, and usually there's a little bit too much kind of existential fear around getting your company started to have a breath to think about cybersecurity. Honestly, at the level at which you're still existential, you're not worried about fines for not doing this right or expanding your revenue base. You're worried about just keeping your doors open a little bit. So we're really talking to people who are ready at this point to expand revenue or who need cyber insurance applications out the door, so that you can do things like get a cyber insurance rider on your errors and omissions business and liability insurance. So yeah, you maybe don't have any idea what's going on here and want to know how to get from point A to point B.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Now what? So James, how many times have you talked to an SMB that doesn't have any IT provider or any security provider at all?
A lot. And if they say, well, so and so does IT, after you have a conversation, you find out that they're the office manager and they minored in computer science 20 years ago. And so that's what all the IT problems fall to on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, it's that, and it's also that there's not really a path to finding good IT help if you don't already have good IT help. It's sort of the same problem that exists in cybersecurity. If you're a small business without expertise in cybersecurity, it's really hard to tell people who are full of it from people who actually have expertise. Also, because if you're getting simple answers, you're probably not getting good answers. It doesn't necessarily mean that as you get started in this world of getting more secure IT provisioning for your small business, it doesn't mean that you're talking to somebody who doesn't seem credible. It's often just if somebody says, just give me $100 a month and I'll make sure you're okay. You may be dealing with somebody there who is not as focused on the goals of your business, and not as focused on keeping you safe and actually providing those services to you as you think. So answers aren't simple. They're not easy, but they can be clear, they can be coherent, they can be careful, and they can make intuitive sense to you. If the answers that you're getting seem like they're a little too easy, a little too pat, you might be dealing with somebody who's not as experienced in providing services to your business. Let me ask you this one, James. How many times have you been the second or third call after somebody tried to get IT or security services and they
Um,
and they did not have good experiences?
yeah, definitely a few times, or or the call kind of goes in the direction of, well, they said they can't do this, or they said that this isn't possible. And I mean, there's not many challenges that can't be solved from an IT or cybersecurity standpoint. Obviously, it's always cost and time, and maybe how much of a difficult process it would be for the end user, but most challenges are possible. So yes, they get a lot of information. Also, I think a lot of times some providers are giving too much of a black and white answer without a lot of nuance. Uh, I've worked with probably 30 or 40 law firms over my time in the SMB space. They all handle things differently. They all would not need or want the same exact solution. So it's important to find those gaps, and they're different everywhere.
Mhm. They are different everywhere, and it's one of the reasons why SMBs have a hard time having good solutions that are inexpensive targeted to them. It's a hard thing to do because everybody has these kind of different needs and requirements, which is why it helps to sort of circle around back to what the most basic assumptions are in cybersecurity. The expectations that the government has of you, that your clients have of you, that your employees have of you. If you're a small business, it starts with NIST, the Cybersecurity Framework SMB Guide. That's where it starts. And your very first question are questions like passwords and data storage. And that's what those checklists that we're talking about here are going to be based upon. The NIST SMB framework, the cybersecurity insurance application you're going to do, the questions on that are going to be based on the NIST SMB framework.